For the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record, for the record.
All right. So, Prez, man, it's, again, slow music week, but I wanted to really touch on something you said the other week in terms of just these bigger artists not dropping. But at the same time, not a whole lot of our favorite indie artists are dropping right now. And I feel like, what do you think? Are they like missing the mark?
Yeah, I believe so, man. You got to get your voice out there, man. Like in times like these, like when everybody else is like back and back, you got kind of a drought. You flood, you throw it out there. You know, people starving. You give them nourishment. You give them that lyrical content out there where they're gonna catch on. You know what I mean? Like it's times like this where if I'm just saying, if I was the artist or whatever, I would. If I ain't got an album ready, I'm trying to drop a couple songs like during this time frame, just to keep people hooked on. You know what I mean? Get them to buy in at a time where they're looking for new music and stuff like this. You know, so I mean, because it seems like right now, if you drop, you're gonna pop up to the top already because of the way the algorithms and everything going. Like ain't nothing out. You get hit just for new music. Even if it's a new song, it's gonna get thrown out there. You know what I mean? You may get added to somebody's playlist. They may be checking for you this time. So you got to take advantage of these things. You got to look at like where everybody else saying this is messed up. Take for example, like us last year. You know what I mean? Hey man, we stuck at home, COVID. Let's go hard. Let's go. Let's get it. We putting out content. We're gonna grow. You know?
Yeah, and it absolutely worked. But do you think that they're allowed the same thing like the bigger artists? Because again, these indie artists or artists that are on those big platforms and have those machines behind them, they too live and die off of touring. So if you can't really tour with possibly some of your best work that you may be sitting on, you may be shooting yourself in the foot, because that's how whatever you sitting on is going to grow by you going out, performing it, touching the people having a chance to live with it, especially those artists that aren't necessarily they're indie, but they're big in terms of they have a good social media presence and they got all the other intangibles working for them, but they may not necessarily be the sit at home, listen to this music artist. They are the ratchet, the artist that talks that talk, is in the clubs, can pack out a show like it's nothing. So they may be suffering from, maybe this ain't the sit at home music.
So, I mean, I feel like it's ways to that, man. And like, if you're the true indie artist and you ain't got the big backing behind you, you got to truly take advantage of this situation by sitting back and just saying, like, when the best change happens is in dire situations, right? So this right here is like we can go on a year and a half, like going on that like now, and no touring is gonna happen anytime soon, right? So why not just recreate the game? Why don't you bring everybody else to your tour? Why don't you make your spot the hot spot to jump on week after week? You know what I mean?
Like a tiny desk performance. Like you saw Griselda, they just put on a concert, and I saw not Benny, Conway, he was on Joe Budden's podcast, and they were kind of briefly touched on it. It wasn't a big part of the pod, but he just briefly touched on like, they had a concert. How was it? He was like, it was kind of odd without fans being there. But me watching it, I could tell, but it was like minor. It was minor. They still brought the same energy. I still watched that shit all the way through for the live performance. And I think it was dope. I think more artists should try to do that. Like, just even if you're not the indie artist, like let's stick to this indie artist. You can do something very creative from your crib. If I rap right now, it would be limitless to how I could do it right here. You know what I'm saying? The production value, get you a team in there, spend the money, reinvest in your brand, and voila, you got something that nobody else got. Put it on Tidal, put it on Apple Music.
I mean, you had
YouTube shit.
You had 6ix9ine create a video from his house when he was on lockdown, like, and that was a situation that's what they called for. Of course, he had the money back, but I'm saying, like, there's opportunities out there. Like, if you truly being creative about what you're doing and you got other people around, you get somebody up in there, record and do something wild and like throw that out there. I think some of the best videos, like one I'll tell you one that I remember like that's pretty good. It's just like a freestyle kind of pretty much was just a freestyle type session was when ASAP and Wolfgang Tyler the Creator when they created that video.
Oh, that video in the studio.
In the studio where they was just going crazy. They had a couple guys like something like that out right now. Like you just drop something like that every couple weeks. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
your behind the scenes footage, like I be thinking that we need to do that more because people love to see behind the scenes footage. Like I never knew that people want to see how sausage is cooked, pause, so to speak. You know what I mean? They want to see that. So if you can let them in on the creative process, and maybe that song never even makes your album, but you got something to hold people nowadays. Because I saw something in regards to social media versus audio and what's going up when I was looking at our Patreon stats and just looking at ways to better our Patreon. And then like during this last year and some change when we've been under quarantine or, extreme measures locked down in certain areas, video watching has went up exponentially over just audio.
Yeah.
So people want the visual because people have a little bit more time to view it. Back in the day, I can understand not back in the day, but shit, just maybe a year and a half ago.
You saying back
in the day, like it's a long time.
Like 10 years,
like it's a long time.
I'll tell you that much. It definitely done felt like 10 years.
Yeah, man.
But provide nourishment in a famine, no sleep. Just get up in there and work. Put out some content, man. At minimum, just leak a song here and there. Like I said, like during these time frames, if you got one, like throw it out there and it's gonna pop up and somebody if you got people like us, just like, I ain't never heard of this, but I'll listen. You may catch somebody, that may how you need to do it. So make sure you're out there always constantly putting that. So
yeah, so indie artists take note, man. Let us know what y'all think. Should artists that are less popular than the big artists be dropping right now, or should they be in the same boat? We don't know. We just two guys that pod. Let's switch gears. This brings us to a good point in the Wale conversation now.
Yeah.
So with that said, now is, more than ever when stuff is starting to sound the same. Or do you agree with that statement that Wale put out there?
I don't agree at all. I think it was a lazy take. Unless he was just saying like somebody saying that.
Context. It lacked context.
Yeah, it like I don't know if he's saying that or that was something that was proposed to him or whatever. So, but no, I don't think it's music goes in ways. If you're just saying everything sounds the same, I think you need to take a wider. I think your search is like too narrow. You need to take a wider view of it. I like to go in decades, and if you see the way stuff goes in like decades, it's a evolution of what done happened. Like you went Kanye to a Drake sound. Like those you could see how those kind of linked up in there. Then you went to a Young Thug. Right, and then now you got the Lil Babies, Lil Durks, and stuff like this. Like they got that sing-songy type flow, but that's what people are into like right now. And if you're not into it, that means you ain't opening up. But guess what? You got all these streaming services. You can go listen to whatever you want to. So if you upset that your artist ain't no longer putting out, like you have all this old content. Go listen to the old content if you want that. I constantly want the evolution. I want stuff to get better. I want the rhymes to become more intricate. I want them to do different things with the beat. I like at times I like the different voices and stuff on there. Just you want something that's ever changing. If you want hip hop to stay the same, go back and like you really wanted to stay the same like it was in the 80s. That's how you want everybody to sound. You got to give the music time to grow, and that's going to be some people copycatting here and there. It's you always started for a reason.
It's always been that way.
Mimic somebody. You're gonna steal a line from somebody. And this is the lifestyle. Like if you saying like everything now is the thing. That's the lifestyle of the young people. That's what they going into right now, and that's how they feel. That's what's the party music for them. You can't knock that. You can't knock it at all.
Yeah, I think lacking context, but kind of knowing what he meant, I think it's more of the things that get pushed to the forefront is what he was talking about, and this is like me diving into some of the responses of his tweets because, Wale is always going to explain himself more than he necessarily needs to because he's Wale and he's going to get attacked for that take.
Yeah.
And rightfully so because it lacked context, but in so many characters on Twitter, how could you provide more context? You know what I mean? I mean, it's somebody's always going to take it a certain type of way and take it left, especially because it's Wale. But on the opposite point of that, I think he was talking about the bigger artists, the artists that are continuously being pushed, the top 15 on whatever hot playlist that you're watching on random different streams. You can play all 20 of them songs, and 20 of them may sound very similar. And it's a good chance that happens. You know what I mean? But if it goes off your algorithms and what you personally listen to, then you may have a more fire playlist than the one that's being promoted to you from these various music sites. So it's all in what you go dig for. I personally hate when old heads like us say, oh, ain't no new shit out there. Ain't no good R&B. Ain't this, ain't that. No, I say to you, you're lazy. Go find the shit. Like, if you're not into music no more, then say that.
Yeah, and say that.
Say that.
If you still listen for the radio to put you on, that's your fault. Like, that style been gone for a minute. And like, I get what you're saying. The melodies sound the same, but if you're saying that, you're, like I said, you really got a narrow view, because go back to any year, Cash, any year when Neptunes came out, everybody had a Neptunes beat.
Yeah,
and everybody and sounded the same on the Neptunes beat.
If you look at beats, or if you ever rapped, or if you just be looking for beats online, you will see that it says Neptune like beat, Pharrell like beat, or Boy Wonder type beat. Like, everybody, no idea is different out here. Like, everybody's recreating a wheel but putting their own little spin on it. Yeah. And it is what it is from there. Some people may pop, some may not. But what does that have to do with anything, in my opinion, as far as, dude, is there cream gonna the top is gonna, the cream gonna rise to the top, and it is what it is. I think that people always take it a certain type of way from the sender, and that being Wale, and that's it. I think they took it a certain type of way from that.
But I look at it like, even no matter what type of sound it is out there, the sing-songy type flow, you're always going to have your people that's going to provide that substance in that, and they're going to live like long after that sound may die, because they always had that content in it. And if you look at the people that are those top 10, top 15, and truly like listen at what they saying, they are talking, they are telling you stuff, man. They actually have substance in their in their rhymes, you know what I mean? So like like the Lil Babies, the Durks, the Young Boy NBA Young Boy, my fault.
Yeah, I just think that certain artists have it in them to overcome what's popping right now because of the lyrics. Because of the lyrics, that's always gonna outshine everything, and that's the reason why artists like Wale, like a Cole, like a Kendrick, like I said last week, when they do drop, it's stuff shuts down. People give them their just due. They listen to the whole entire album. They feel how they feel. But 9 times out of 10, those are the guys that are shutting shit down. Everybody else that drop, oh, you heard that such and such drop? You heard what, what's his name drop and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you going to listen to it? But nah, it's not an event like when those 3 drop. And there's a few others, of course, the legacy acts like a Hoes, at Nas, M's, and all that. Like, people stop and listen to those guys. Even Busta Rhymes, like the promo run he went on was like something like legendary of like in early 2000s, but it got people's attention. Whether you liked it or not, different story. But what I'm saying is he promoted the hell out that shit, and you got to be the one to believe in your baby. If your baby ugly, but you think it's cute, you got to go out here and show everybody that shit cute. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody to say it's ugly, right? So
I ain't scared. Don't tell you the baby was
ugly. Yeah.
It was all right.
I'm just not gonna say your baby cute. I'm just gonna say okay.
Yeah. But I mean, that goes back to like the Lil Baby. I think everybody used to say like, like, oh, they that mumble rappers. They ain't really saying nothing until the bigger picture drop. Then all of a sudden, everybody go back and listen to his
listen to what he's saying. Oh, Baby be rapping. No, he was rapping before. It's just that you couldn't understand what he was saying with his southern drawl and his little lisp. I understood what he was saying. It took me a while, but you got to get in tune with dude's cadence. Like, we just covered the Freeway album a couple weeks ago. It's just like that. Like, now I don't care about how a guy sounds, whatever the case may be. I don't care where he's from. If he has a unique sound and he can put words together, I'm in there. And he got the shock value too. Like, I was just listening to this. And I'll mention him when we do the music week in review. But I was listening to an artist to where he sound kind of a little bit similar to T Grizzly, where he was rapping off beat from Detroit, and he was just when I let you listen to this song, man, you're gonna be like, what? It was like, what's plug got to do got to do with it? So I'm like, who in their right mind is thinking of putting that type of song? And if y'all, sorry for my singing, but just feel me here. But like, who would think to put "What's Love Got to Do with It" into "What's a Plug Got to Do with It" and selling drugs and make it sound dope? Yeah. So I was hooked. I listened to the whole album, and I'm like, that was my find of the week, and that was my find of the week. Shout out to Iggy, man. But yeah, it's always gonna be stuff that rises to the top because personally, I like mainstream artists when they do it well, but I'm not rushing to it. If it's whack, I'm.
The only thing I will agree with him on, like, every time, like, I be feeling like sometimes, like, auto-tune. They be over auto-tune and everything, and then just like, man, you're killing it. But then it'd be a song that's pretty much like all auto-tune, and I'm like, man, that's fire.
Yeah.
I contradict my own self, and I had to like,
if it's
let stuff be.
If it's fire, it's fire. Like I was listening to Lil Durk, and although I feel like the Lil Durk album really isn't for me, there's quite a few songs on there that I was like, oh,
so good that you mentioned Lil Durk. That's
an
excellent segue because the album I'm gonna put you on this week is, I want to say go listen at that Lil Durk Deluxe. Hey, so he did exactly what I was talking about last week. I said, I'm getting tired of these artists putting all the new songs in the back, you know what I mean? Because then they don't like come in. He put it up to the front, had a new intro into it. The first 4 or 5 songs just straight fire, and it just like kept me engaged. I went back and listened to this album.
I'm going Kanye crazy.
Album, yeah,
I'm going Kanye crazy.
Man, so he had the intro. He had finesse out the gangway. That was the one featuring Lil Baby. You had Kanye crazy. You had Should Have Duck featuring Pooh Shiesty, who sounds a lot like Gucci to me, and I was like, man, they need to do a remix of this and just put Gucci on the verse, man, like, because that song was dying for a Gucci verse, man. But yeah, it was like that, and then that made me go back and listen at the rest of the album with a different ear, and I'm like, man, this was pretty good, man. Lamborghini Mirrors, Free Jamel with YNW Melly. Stay Down, Changes, Still Trapping. Man, it was just
the whole shit. The whole
like,
shit
that thing was just a good album, and I was like, this is what it does. Like when you drop like that with a deluxe, like this is how you grab my attention again. And lo and behold, the person who did it last year with the same type of way was Lil Baby.
Yeah, what do you do when you in the drought? Whether you in business or illegal business, you flood the market when it's a drought. And he definitely did that with a whole new album. This ain't a deluxe. It's a whole new album. And this could be considered an album, really, if he wanted to just change the name and put a different cover on it.
Yeah, because it was like 12 new songs, bro.
Yeah. So,
he had like 13 on that before, and this was like 12 more. Like, man.
And we in our latter 30s. We got no reason to be listening to Lil Durk. No reason at all. But I'm in here listening to it and having my little drink and enjoying the hell out of it, man, because it's good music. It's good music. It's ageless, it's timeless. So shout out to Durk, man. He's doing great things, man, with just his evolution as an artist. Like.
And that's Mr. Prayers put on for the week. Go listen at that. You make sure you listen. I mean, y'all probably already are, but I mean, if you haven't, definitely go download that, listen to it, give it a second shot if you was like the first time it wasn't good. Like the way he changed up, man, it dragged you in this time.
Since we on put-ons of the week, I'm definitely going to try to tell y'all, go listen to that Spirit of a Boss by Payroll Giovanni.
Yeah.
What's a Plug Got to Do with it has been on repeat. It dropped in 2020, but I love that drug talk with a unique way to put it out there. Like, it's funny, it's shock value, but it's dope at the same time. Like, it's all those things that you need to do to stick out. And this Spirit of a Boss, the lead song, the intro, when we talk about the intro, I'm gonna play it for you later on after we get off here, because we can't play music on out there in YouTube land or here in audio unless the artist gives us permission.
Like, hey, no views.
We don't want no problem, no issues.
Views. Oh, take away all your listens over here. Nah.
But yeah, Spirit of a Boss, Payroll Giovanni, and then my other put on of the week is another deluxe, is by Sue Surf. I don't know what the MSYKM mean.
But he did his deluxe.
Yeah, he did his deluxe.
His was on the back end, though.
Yeah, it's on the back on another, 6 songs, I want to say. But boy, he redid Beanie Siegel's Nothing Like It.
But I'm glad that he did, because that intro on his original album.
Hey, I went back to the album. I went back to the whole thing. Like, damn, this This is one, and Sue Surf is a battle rapper. You've seen him on URL. If you're listening for the first time, Rap League. And yeah, man.
That's what he's known for, but he's just tearing that down for me. I'm known for I'm liking every release that he put out. Like he has some hits on there, man.
Yeah, and a lot of these battle rappers of probably the last 5, I want to say the 10 years that have been making music. And oh, by the way, I do have a playlist for y'all since it's called Slow Music Week Volume 1. So anytime we got slow music weeks when stuff don't really come out, I'll put you on to something. Perez will put you on to something. We'll combine something here in the future. But I just wanted to put stuff on that I was listening to naturally. No rhyme or reason and no order. I just put stuff that I like on. Hopefully, I'll put you on. So, and some Sue Surf is on that Slow Music Week Volume 1. Then I also got an R&B playlist as well. It's the stuff I've been, just jamming to while I've been up here editing and doing my different things, stuff, dizzle,
So, I think what you was getting at was these new battle rappers who done came out, they actually can still rhyme over a beat. They ain't the loaded
Averb is another one.
They ain't the loaded Luxes and stuff like that. Even though Lux could kind of do it, but he never
Daylight is another one that can make make good music. Cortez is another one.
His freestyles be deadly too, bro. Daylight.
Yeah, so I think Daylight and Loaded Lux have signed a contract to do a battle. So we definitely gonna deviate from what we do music wise and break that down whenever that come out. So I can't wait. I can't wait for that. Can't wait for that, man. But last but not least, the last put on is Young Dolph, Rich Slave. I went back to that.
Oh, the deluxe that dropped?
The deluxe too. So those are the 3 ones I went back to just to listen to, just to enjoy it all over again. Because it gets clouded, man, when stuff drops that you actually are going to listen to before you listen to these artists that you like as well. So that's my put-ons. That's Cash's put-ons of the week, man.
So what we got? We got Lil Durk, the deluxe. You got Sue Surf, his deluxe.
Yep.
You got Young Dolph, his deluxe, and then
Payroll Giovanni.
Spirit
of a Boss.
Okay, and then I think Thutmose dropped something too. He had a song on that. I don't know, you don't know who that is, but he's an R&B type artist.
Duckworth?
Thutmose.
Oh no, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. It was good. I'll put it on the list.
All right, put it on the list. Let's put it out there for the people, man. All right, man. So finally got to get to it. The allegations of rape and sexual assault with T.D.E. We've seen.
For more episodes, catch us on Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Spotify, SoundCloud, and wherever else you listen to your favorite podcasts.